My girlfriend filed a fake harassment claim to kick me out and take my business, but my silence made her entire plan collapse before she even realized it. My name's Ethan Cole. I'm 32, live in Austin, and until recently, I shared a 2-bedroom apartment with my girlfriend Lucy Vale. She's 29, works in marketing, does influencer stuff on the side, and treats networking like a full-time job. We'd been together for 3 years, building a small app business. I handled coding and finances. She did branding and social media. The LLC papers listed me as sole member and owner of the code. Lucy handled marketing as a contractor under an IP assignment she'd signed in month 3. I like things neat and predictable. She called it boring. I called it stability. It worked for a while. Her creativity balanced my logic until the spending started. Lucy believed in investing in her image. She used our shared business card for everything: content props, brand dinners, even luxury skincare labeled as client presentation prep. Every time I brought it up, she accused me of being controlling. That word became her favorite. It all blew up one Friday night. I came home, saw her laptop open on the counter, and noticed a $1,500 charge for a branding retreat on the business account. We were already a month behind on rent. The retreat would push us deeper. "Lucy," I said, "what's this?" Without looking up from painting her nails, she replied, "It's an investment. Don't freak out." "An investment in what?" "We're behind on rent." She looked up annoyed. "This is how we grow. I'll meet clients, build the brand. You're so obsessed with numbers you forget people buy stories, not spreadsheets. You're using company money for personal trips," I said evenly. "That's not growth. That's waste." She slammed the nail polish shut. "So what? I need your permission to do my job?" "You're not my employee," I said. "I'm your business partner, and I notice when our funds disappear into vanity projects." Her expression hardened. "Vanity projects? You think I'm useless without your little coding hobby?" "I didn't say that," I said. "I said we can't afford this." She stood up. "You act like you're the only adult here. I make this thing marketable. Without me, you'd just be another developer no one's heard of." I exhaled slowly. Without me, there'd be nothing to market. That hit her. She grabbed her purse. "You love control. You hate that I can do things without asking first. Then stop using company money like it's your allowance." Her eyes narrowed. "You think you can cut me off because you're mad? I worked for this." "I'm trying to keep us afloat," I said. "Keep you afloat?" She snapped. "You'll regret talking to me like this." Then she slammed the door. The apartment went quiet. I sat down, opened my laptop, and froze the company card. 2 days passed. No texts, no calls. I figured she needed space. I spent the weekend fixing bugs and avoiding the thought of her. Monday night, a Travis County constable served me a judge-signed temporary ex parte protective order under Texas Family Code Title IV. It included a kick-out order granting Lucy exclusive possession and barred any direct or indirect contact. The order was effective for 20 days pending a hearing, extendable by the court. I read it twice. It wasn't criminal, but it was enough to make me leave. She'd used the system to get the apartment and probably access to the business too. Inside, half her stuff was gone: clothes, decor, her monitor. She even took the coffee grinder. A sticky note still clung to her desk: "Call vendor Monday." She wasn't coming back Monday. She'd planned it. I took a photo of the order, packed essentials, laptop, charger, a few shirts, tax binder, and left. I started typing a text: "Got your notice. Moving out tonight." Then I reread the line that said, "No direct or indirect contact." I deleted the draft, slipped my key under the mat, took a time-stamped photo of the door, and left without sending anything. When I reached my friend Marcus's place, he opened the door holding a mug. "She actually filed this?" "Yeah," I said, handing him the letter. "Guess she wanted space?" He frowned. "You're taking this way too calmly." "I'm just doing what she asked," I said. "She wants distance. She'll get it." I set my suitcase down, opened my laptop, and checked our shared account. Nothing changed yet, but tomorrow that would start. For now, I just needed sleep. Marcus's spare room wasn't much: a fold-out bed, a chipped desk, and a closet that smelled faintly of paint. But it worked. I had Wi-Fi, a door that locked, and no one yelling about vibes. That was enough. The next morning, I sat on the floor with my laptop and started sorting things out. No music, no TV, just typing. I logged into the business account. All the shared invoices, client emails, and payment links were still there. I exported everything to a local backup in case she tried to wipe it later. Then I looked through the expenses. Her name was everywhere: makeup brands, boutique invoices, creative tools. even a spa charge labeled client wellness. I canceled what wasn't tied to real business. It took 2 hours to clean up, but it felt good, like cleaning out a messy closet. Next were the shared subscriptions, app hosting, analytics tools, email domain. I changed billing from my personal card to the company account. Then I updated the domain ownership from both our names to the LLCs. No drama, no tricks, just policy. By noon, I had a list of what was active and what was closed. I printed copies, dated them, and added a note, account separation per temporary order. I wasn't breaking any rule. I was following hers. Marcus leaned in holding a sandwich. You've been at that since 8. Almost done, I said. She's going to notice you cut off her toys. She already noticed I left that night. I got my first email from her lawyer. The subject line read, "Formal request for maintenance of financial support." Her lawyer wrote that our client, MS Vale, requests that all financial assistance and business-related payments previously handled by Mr. Cole continue uninterrupted during this transition period. I typed my reply. Ms. Vale filed a harassment claim restricting contact. Any financial involvement would require communication, which violates that claim. I'm fully complying with the order. I sent it, archived the thread, and went back to work. Marcus read over my shoulder. That's going to make her mad. Then she shouldn't have called it harassment, I said. Through her counsel, I scheduled a one-time civil standby. An officer and the landlord were present while I retrieved my things. I was in and out in 20 minutes. No contact, no drama. 2 boxes, maybe 3. I didn't touch her side. The place looked half empty, art gone, clothes missing, that faint perfume smell still floating around. On the counter, I noticed an unopened envelope from the landlord. Later that night, I opened it. Rent reminder addressed to both of us. If she had exclusive occupancy, then she was responsible for payment. That worked for me. The next morning, I called the landlord, a woman named Carla. Hey, it's Ethan Cole from 3 Billions. Just letting you know I won't be renewing or paying beyond this month. My CO tenant filed a harassment order giving her full occupancy. Carla paused. So, you're moving out for good? Yeah. I'd like to be removed from the lease. She's claiming full responsibility now. All right, she said slowly. If you withdraw, she'll have 30 days to requalify or add a guarantor. If she can't, the lease ends. Perfect. Could you email that to me? She did, and I printed it for my folder. That week became routine, work, organize, document. Each night, I sat at Marcus's desk and double-checked one more thing. Bank login, receipts, invoices. It wasn't control anymore. It was cleanup. Midweek, another letter came from her lawyer. This one accused me of retaliatory financial disruption. My lawyer, Ben, replied, Mr. Cole has ceased voluntary payments in adherence with the temporary no-to-contact order. Any suggestion of retaliation is unfounded. That ended the exchange. By Friday, I'd signed a release of tenant and liability. The landlord countersigned. Lucy assumed sole occupancy and responsibility. I opened a new account for the business and redirected future payments there. The old one stayed frozen. For the first time in months, it was quiet. I made a new routine. Wake early, make peanut butter sandwiches, code, read, sleep. Marcus joked I was living like a monk. I just told him silence costs nothing. One night around midnight, my phone buzzed with a blocked call. I let it ring out. The voicemail was just breathing, then a click. I saved it. If she wanted contact, she could do it through her lawyer. The next morning, I walked to a cafe to work. A few of her posts still showed up. Long captions about healing from control. I muted her, not out of spite, just because I didn't care to see it. That weekend, I organized the last of my boxes. I labeled one folder Lucy and filled it with every document, copies of the order, lawyer emails, transaction screenshots. I slid it into the bottom drawer and shut it. Marcus leaned in the doorway. That's a lot of paperwork for a breakup. It's not a breakup, I said. It's record keeping. He smirked. Same thing for you, huh? Pretty much. Monday morning, I got a text from an unknown number. You've made this harder than it had to be. No name. I took a screenshot and forwarded it to Ben. He replied, keep documenting, don't respond. I didn't. A week after I moved out, life was quiet. Marcus's spare room had a small desk, one monitor, and a leaky coffee maker. It wasn't much, but silence was better than chaos. Then the messages started. Wednesday morning, I opened my laptop to a text from a friend. Hey man, Lucy's posting stuff about you. You okay? I hadn't checked her social since leaving, but curiosity won. Her latest Instagram post was a black and white selfie with a long caption. Healing means cutting ties with people who use money to control you. You can love someone and still be scared of them. Thousands of likes, dozens of comments. You're so strong. Proud of you. He didn't deserve you. She didn't name me, but everyone knew. I didn't react. I opened a new folder called Evidence and started saving screenshots, each labeled with the date. By noon, another friend messaged. She's saying you locked her out of your joint account. I replied, she filed a harassment claim. I can't share access or funds now. He left it on read. That night, Marcus walked in holding takeout. You're trending in her comments, he said. She's making it public, I replied. You going to respond? No, I said. Screenshots don't argue. The next day, I logged into FlowSpace, our productivity app business. We had 12,000 users, small but stable. I'd already moved our payments to a new account, or so I thought. 3 new payout transactions had appeared under my name, $2,400 total, all in the last 24 hours. My stomach dropped. I hadn't touched the account. The audit log showed 2 logins from her neighborhood IP block, the same user agent as her MacBook, and a 2-factor authentication reset at 10:14 a.m. A payout was initiated through the dashboard and approved using my name. She'd forged my authorization. I exported the logs, highlighted the IPs, and sent them to the payment processor. Hi, this is Ethan Cole, account owner for FlowSpace, reporting unauthorized activity and a forged payout. Please freeze all pending transfers immediately. I copied my lawyer, Ben. He replied in minutes. Good call. Don't contact her. Let the system handle it. By evening, Stripe confirmed the account was frozen pending investigation. Thank you for reporting the unauthorized access. Every payout, including hers, was stopped. At 9:30 p.m., an unknown number called. I ignored it, but voicemail came through. You think you can steal from me? You're not the only one who built that company, Ethan. This isn't over. I sent it to Ben. He wrote back, perfect. That's another violation. The next morning, Lucy posted again. When you leave an abusive partner, they try to destroy your livelihood, but you can't silence the truth. Comments flooded in. Hashtags about financial abuse. People tagged advocacy pages. By noon, a coworker messaged me, is all that about you? Probably, I said, don't engage. But by nightfall, people were DMing FlowSpace asking if I was the guy who abused his partner. I took screenshots, timestamped them, and sent them to Ben. Later that night, another email from Stripe, unauthorized user locked out, investigation ongoing. She tried logging in again and failed. At 11 p.m., another voicemail came through. You can't erase me, Ethan. You think freezing the accounts makes you innocent? You'll see. Saved, forwarded, archived. Marcus walked by my room, glanced at the screen, and said, she's unraveling. She thought this would scare me, I said. Now it's just proof. Friday morning, Ben called. They confirmed the forged signature. Law enforcement's being notified. Good, I said. Let them handle it. Saturday was quiet. I spent the day coding and stayed off social media. When I finally checked my inbox Sunday evening, there it was. Investigation complete. Account restored. All recent transfers determined to be unauthorized. Ownership verified and restored to Ethan Cole. Unauthorized access documented. Trust and Safety asked whether I authorized a referral to law enforcement. Case TS 4821. I replied in writing with my consent. 2 days later, they confirmed the referral. It wasn't relief exactly, just confirmation that systems work better than shouting. Marcus walked in with chips. So, you win? Not a win, I said. Just balance restored. He laughed. You sound like a robot. Better than a victim. That night, I opened my evidence folder, renamed it Digital Trail, and saved one last screenshot, Lucy's final post. Some people show who they really are when you stop feeding them. I timestamped it and said quietly, you finally did. By Monday morning, things had settled into a predictable rhythm. I woke before sunrise, made coffee, and checked the FlowSpace dashboard. No new fraud alerts, no chaos, just normal numbers. It was strange, but peaceful. At 9, Ben forwarded me an email from Martin Keene, counsel for Lucy, a request to negotiate temporary access to funds. Ben replied that all communication must go through counsel and that funds were frozen by the processor's fraud team, not by me. That afternoon, Marcus walked in holding his tablet. You see her latest post? No, she's calling you out again. Something about men weaponizing bureaucracy. I sighed. That's rich considering she used fake paperwork to evict me. You want me to report it? He asked. No need, I said. Public posts are their own evidence. I checked her page for the first time in days. Her caption read, Some people hide behind systems to avoid accountability, freezing accounts, filing counterclaims. It's all control, just wrapped in legal words. Hundreds of comments, most still on her side, but a few starting to question things. I took screenshots, timestamped them, and archived the files. Then I closed the browser for good. That evening, 2 mutual friends texted me. One said, "She's having a rough time, maybe you could compromise." Another, "She's broke, man, don't let her fall apart." I didn't respond. I forwarded both messages to Ben, third-party contact attempts, documenting per order. He replied, "Perfect, keep them." By midweek, I'd built a routine: coffee at 6, jog before work, 1 bug fix before breakfast. Simple structure, no drama. Marcus would walk by and joke, "You're debugging your life." "You can't fix people," I said. He laughed. "Software doesn't lie, huh?" "They lie less," I said. Friday morning, Ben called. "You'll want to hear this. The payment processor escalated the case. Lucy didn't just forge your name once. She tried routing funds through a fake business ID. That's federal." "They confirmed it?" "Yep. They've handed it to investigators. You did the right thing reporting early," he added. I nodded even though he couldn't see it. Then it's not my problem anymore. After the call, I checked FlowSpace again. The dashboard was stable. Lucy's name had been scrubbed from every record. Around noon, Marcus knocked. "You ever think she's going to stop?" "She'll stop when she runs out of platforms," I said, "and she's running out fast." He nodded, still wild to watch someone implode like that. "Yeah," I said quietly, "but I didn't push her. She did that herself." That night, I took a long walk through the neighborhood. The air was heavy and quiet. 6 months ago, she was bragging about brand deals and creative freedom. Now she was begging lawyers for access to money she wasn't entitled to. When I got back, there was a new email from Ben. "For your information, the processor confirmed the fraud report's been passed to investigators. You don't need to act further." I typed back, "Got it. Thanks." Before bed, I opened my digital trail folder and added the week's screenshots. Every post, every message, each one was a record of choices she'd made herself. At the bottom of my document log, I typed, "Full compliance achieved. No contact, no emotion, no loose ends." It wasn't satisfaction, just closure. Marcus called out from the living room. "You want to watch something?" "Nah," I said. "I'm good." He paused. "You're really never going to call her?" "Can't," I said. "She made the rules. I'm just following them." And for once, her rules actually worked in my favor. By the next week, Lucy's online stories started turning against her. What had been a chorus of sympathy turned into questions. The first crack showed up under one of her posts about escaping financial control. Someone commented, "Didn't you use the business funds for personal trips?" Another added, "You bragged about that retreat last month." She tried to reply, then deleted the post an hour later. By Wednesday, screenshots started spreading. A mutual acquaintance named Jenna sent me a message, "You should see this before it disappears." Attached were screenshots from a group chat. Lucy bragging to friends weeks earlier, "Once the harassment claim goes through, he'll have to back off. Then I can handle the brand however I want." Another line made my stomach turn, "It's just a scare tactic. He'll cave once I post about it." I didn't respond to Jenna. I just saved the images, timestamped them, and forwarded them to Ben with the subject line, "New material for fraud case." His reply came quick, "Got them. These help a lot." After that, I didn't check social media for a while. Every time Lucy tried to post again, it backfired. People noticed her timeline didn't add up. Someone found old clips where she thanked me for believing in her dreams. They reposted them under her newer accusations. The comments filled up with eye-roll emojis and questions she couldn't answer. While her name was burning online, mine was staying quiet. That was enough. Midweek, I got a call from the landlord, Carla. Her tone was hesitant. "Hi, Mr. Cole. Sorry to bother you, but I wanted to confirm Ms. Vale hasn't made rent in 6 weeks. I leaned back in my chair. "She has exclusive occupancy per her own claim, right?" "Yes," she said, "but since your name was originally on the lease, I just wanted to give you a courtesy update as a former tenant on the file. I already withdrew as guarantor. You have the email." "Yes, I see that here," she said, rustling papers. "So, if she doesn't pay by the end of the month, she'll face eviction proceedings." "I understand," I said. "That's between you and her now." After hanging up, I added a note to my log. Landlord confirmed delinquency. Responsibility hers. Then I went back to work. The next day, I filed paperwork for a new company, Nexora Labs LLC. Same product and my code base, new brand, clean slate, transferring the assets under the existing IP assignment. Flowspace had been tainted by her name. Nexora was mine alone. I spent the weekend setting up a new domain, rebuilding the website, and transferring clients. By Monday, the first few users had already subscribed under the new platform. It felt clean. No shared logins, no shared credit cards, no drama. Marcus noticed the change when he walked into the room and saw the new logo on my screen. "You rebranded already?" "New start," I said. He nodded approvingly. "Smart move. How's she handling all this?" Judging by the silence, I said, "Not well." That night, I made a simple dinner, pasta and frozen vegetables. While I ate, I checked Nexora's analytics. Numbers were steady, support tickets were low, and no one mentioned Lucy's name anywhere. She, on the other hand, was posting cryptic stories again, dark photos, vague captions about being betrayed by the people you build with. They stopped getting traction. The comment sections were empty, except for one or two bots. A few of her former followers started sharing memes about her situation. The sympathy had evaporated. Her friends had gone quiet. Thursday evening, Marcus found me sitting out on the balcony with my laptop, the city lights flickering below. "You don't even look mad anymore," he said. "I was," I said, but then I realized the silence is doing all the work for me. He grinned. "That's kinda cold." "Not really. It's math. She talks. People see the pattern. I stay quiet and it makes sense on its own." He leaned on the railing beside me. "You think she knows it's over?" "She knew the second she tried to use the system to control me," I said. "The system doesn't care about her story. It cares about evidence." We sat there for a few minutes without talking, just the hum of cars below. I finished an email draft to a potential client and hit send. Marcus eventually went inside, leaving me alone with the laptop glow and the steady ping of notifications from Nexora. Later that night, I checked one more update from Ben. Fraud documentation submitted. Investigation ongoing. Strong case. Do not engage with her or her friends. Your silence is protecting you. I closed the email, leaned back, and watched the city from the balcony. It wasn't satisfaction that I felt, it was distance. The kind she wanted, but never expected to face. Lucy's noise was fading. Every post, every accusation, every truth she tried to tell was being buried under her own contradictions. I didn't need to defend myself. The silence had already done that. And for the first time in months, I actually enjoyed the quiet. 40 days after the order was entered, including a routine extension, it quietly expired. No hearing, no renewal, no message from her lawyer. Ben called me that morning. "It's done," he said. "She didn't file for an extension." "Why?" I asked. "She can't," he said. "Once a fraud investigation is active, she loses standing to claim you're a threat. Too many contradictions on record." I nodded, not surprised. She'd built the whole thing on paper, and now the paper was folding in on itself. 2 days later, I got an email from Carla, the landlord. "Hi, Ethan. Just confirming that Ms. Vale's rent wasn't cured after a 3-day notice to vacate. We filed in justice court and obtained possession. The constable will post the 24-hour writ before the lockout. Thanks for your earlier documentation. It helped clarify the lease transfer." I reread it twice, mostly because it felt surreal how neatly everything was falling into place. No drama, no confrontation, just simple consequences. When I forwarded it to Ben, he replied, "Good. Keep it on file. Do not comment publicly." The same afternoon, a new name appeared in my inbox, Tom Keller, a junior associate at a local firm. Subject line, representation for Miss Lucy Vale. "Mr. Cole, I'm reaching out on behalf of Miss Vale. She would like to discuss a mutual resolution regarding her outstanding business interests and financial distress. Would you be willing to meet privately to talk?" I didn't answer. I forwarded it to Ben. His response already expected this. "I'll handle it." An hour later, Ben emailed me again with the forwarded reply he'd sent to Keller. "Mr. Cole will not meet in person. All communications must remain in writing and go through counsel. As your client has an active fraud investigation pending, direct negotiation is inappropriate." That was the last I heard from Keller. Meanwhile, Nexora Labs, my new company, was quietly growing. The rebrand had worked. A few of our former Flowspace clients reached out saying they respected how I kept things professional during the mess. I didn't correct them. I just thanked them, sent updated contracts, and kept my head down. In 2 weeks, we hit break even again. The code was stable, subscription steady. Every day at 6 a.m., I'd wake up, make coffee, check analytics, and then work without interruption. It was almost too calm. One morning while I was checking emails, another message appeared from FlowSpace support, the old system. The subject line was blank. Inside it just said, "Can we meet to clear things up?" I know I messed up. I just want to talk. No signature, but I didn't need one. It was Lucy. She'd made a new address, but her writing style was the same, short sentences, guilt mixed with manipulation. I didn't reply. Instead, I sent it to Ben with a note. Direct contact attempt. New email. He wrote back, "Got it. I'll respond officially." Within an hour, he forwarded me his reply to her lawyer. Although the prior notice has expired, all communication must remain in writing and go through counsel. Do not contact Mr. Cole directly. That closed the loop. Later that week, Ben called again. Her old lawyer, Martin Keene, dropped her. He filed a withdrawal of representation this morning. Why? The payment processor forwarded them evidence of the forged documents. No firm wants to sit on that liability. I didn't say anything. It wasn't shock, just confirmation. One more pillar gone. That same day, Carla called again. "Just letting you know Miss Vale was officially evicted today," she said. "The movers came and the locks were changed. I thought you'd want to know since you handled the lease transition professionally." "Thanks," I said. "I appreciate the update." She hesitated before hanging up. "I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I wish more people handled things the way you did. No yelling, no threats, just paperwork." "I found that works best," I said. After the call, I opened my Nexora dashboard again. 5 new clients had signed up that morning. One of them, a business owner named Ryan, wrote a note in the contact form, "Saw how you handled that whole situation. Quiet professionalism goes a long way. Excited to work with you." I smiled at that one. It wasn't validation I needed, but it was nice to see people notice the difference between noise and consistency. That evening, Marcus came home with groceries. "Heard she got evicted," he said casually while unpacking. "Yeah," Carla called. He whistled. "Damn, that's fast." "She stopped paying rent months ago," I said. "The process just caught up." He set down a bag and leaned on the counter. "You think she'll try to contact you again?" "She already did," I said. "Email this time. What did you do?" "Nothing." Ben handled it. He nodded slowly. "You ever think about talking to her, just for closure?" "There's nothing left to say," I said. "Everything's already in writing." We finished putting away groceries in silence. After he went to bed, I sat at the table eating dinner. Leftover pasta, no music, just the hum of the fridge. The quiet wasn't heavy anymore. It felt earned. Before shutting down my laptop for the night, I opened my digital trail folder one last time. Every screenshot, every email, every confirmation sat neatly in place. A timeline of choices, all leading to this point. The harassment order had ended. The lease was gone. Her lawyer had quit. The fraud case was still active and Nexora was stable. There were no loose ends left to manage. When I closed the folder, I saw one unread email notification. Another client inquiry. I answered it right away, kept my tone polite, short, and professional. Then I shut everything down, washed my plate, and turned off the kitchen light. The apartment was silent except for the hum of the air vent. For the first time in almost a year, I realized I wasn't waiting for the next crisis. Everything had already unfolded, and this time the paper worked in my favor. 6 months passed before I saw Lucy again. Nexora Labs was steady, profitable, and quiet. My name had faded from every corner of her drama. Most days I barely thought about her. But life has a way of throwing reminders in your path when you least expect them. It happened on a Thursday afternoon. I'd gone to a co-working space downtown to meet a new client. I was early, sitting by the glass wall reviewing notes on my laptop when I heard someone say my name softly. "Ethan." I looked up, and there she was, Lucy. She looked different, thinner, pale, her once perfect hair tied back in a loose knot. The expensive handbags and glossy confidence were gone. She was holding a cheap laptop under her arm and a worn-out notebook. For a second, we just stared at each other. Then she smiled weakly. "Wow, you still work here?" "I rent a desk sometimes," I said. My voice came out even, almost calm. She stepped closer, glancing at the Nexora logo sticker on my laptop. "So, that's your new thing, huh? Nexora Labs." "Yeah," I said. "It's going well." She nodded, then sighed.
I heard. Everyone keeps saying how professional you were about everything. Her tone had an edge, like she wanted me to apologize for it.
"I just followed the rules," I said. Her eyes narrowed. "Rules? That's all you care about, right? Policies, procedures, screenshots. It's what keeps things fair, I said. Fair? She laughed quietly, shaking her head. You ruined me with your fair. My account's frozen, my apartment gone, my name trashed online. You could have helped me fix it, but no, you had to document everything like some robot. You filed a harassment claim, I said, keeping my voice low. You wanted control. I gave it to you. That's not what I wanted, she snapped. Heads turned from nearby desks, and she lowered her voice again. You know what I wanted, Ethan? I wanted you to stop treating me like I didn't matter. I stood up slowly, closing my laptop. You wanted me to fund your chaos and call it partnership. You used the system to get power. It worked for a while. She took a step closer, her face tense. You think this is all my fault? I don't think, I said. I know. You filed lies to get control, and when it backfired, you blamed everyone else. That's on you. Her voice broke a little. You didn't have to destroy everything. I met her eyes. I didn't destroy anything. I stopped protecting what was already broken. She went quiet for a moment, jaw tight. Then she said, You're cold, you know that? No feeling, no forgiveness, just silence. I gave you silence, I said. You called it peace when you asked for it. Now you can have all of it. Her hand trembled slightly and she muttered, You'll regret this someday. Maybe, I said, but I'll regret it quietly. She didn't respond. Her eyes welled for a second. Then she turned and walked away, nearly bumping into someone by the door. I watched her leave without saying another word. When she was gone, I sat back down and opened my laptop again. My heart was steady, not racing. The confrontation felt like closing a file. No satisfaction, no anger, just done. The client I was meeting showed up 10 minutes later, and I switched back to business like nothing had happened. That evening, after the meeting, I went home and updated my bookkeeping. Income steady, expenses lower than ever. The line graph was simple and clean. No dips, no chaos. I made dinner, cleaned the dishes, and then went into my small workshop area by the balcony. The half-finished wooden desk I'd been building for weeks was finally ready to sand. I worked on it until my arms ached, the sound of the sandpaper steady and grounding. When it was done, I wiped the surface and ran my hand across the smooth wood. Solid, balanced, built right. Marcus called to check in. Heard from her? Yeah, I said. Ran into her today. How'd that go? Short, I said. Loud for a minute, then short. He chuckled. You're all right? Better than all right, I said. It's over. We talked for a few minutes about work and weekend plans, then hung up. The apartment was quiet again. I sat at my new desk, turned on the lamp and opened a blank document. My reflection stared back at me in the screen, calm, older maybe, but unbothered. I started typing a few notes for next quarter's updates, then paused and added one line at the bottom of the page. When someone threatens you with distance, let them have it fully, completely. That's not revenge, that's peace. I saved it, leaned back, and looked around the apartment. The same silence that used to feel heavy now felt earned. In the end, Lucy had wanted control. She got it legally, publicly, completely, and it destroyed everything she tried to hold on to. All I did was follow her rules. I closed the laptop and smiled faintly. The night outside was still. The hum of the air vent filled the space, steady and calm. Compliance isn't weakness, I said quietly to myself. It's freedom with paperwork. And for the first time, I believed it.